Hi everybody, excuse me, happy solar eclipse in Leo. I have just charged everything that I have, my candles, my cards, my crystals. I even have some eclipse water here that is gonna kind of help ground the energy and kind of set this at the solar eclipse. So I hope everyone is enjoying themselves and having a good Monday and having a good solar eclipse. Okay, so I'm gonna do an all signs reading. Hi Joe. And so I'm gonna go in order this time to do the reading. I know that was a request from people, so let's start Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, and we have Libra. Let's see. Yeah, you can still see this. Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius. I'll move these down a little bit so you can see them. Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces at the end. Hi everybody. Welcome to the eclipse reading. Make sure you look at your sun, moon, and rising signs. I know this is kind of wonky, but I'm doing what I can with my phone. Okay, and then I'll go through. I'm going to be pulling, I'm using 4 decks for this. So then I'm going to be going over the lessons. This covers the next 6 months since that's the eclipse energy. Okay, and we have and then I also have clarity cards, so if you want me to clarify anything, just go ahead and comment as we go along. Aries. I'm trying to give you guys a little bit of everything. So like I have, you know, what's the lesson over this next 6 months? What's the outcome? What does it look like romance-wise? I'm trying to get a good coverage of everything. And then also I have, you know, an oracle deck that I'm using for you. Or no, I want to use Morgan Greer first. Leo, Virgo, Libra. And then if you guys are able to put timestamps, I'd really appreciate it if you feel so inclined. Have you guys been doing anything for the eclipse? I know a lot of people have been doing rituals and charging their stuff. I meditated for quite a while today. Happy eclipse, Tammy. Thank you. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and start with Aries. And try to make a little bit of space. So this is good if you're Aries, sun, moon, or rising. It's a little tight. All right. So this is your growth period. It was overcast here too. It's okay. We still get the good energy from it. Okay, so it's going to go like this. We have your growth period, what's the lesson from the 6 months? What does romance, your love life, your relationship look like? The outcome, like where you're going to be in the next 6 months, and then an advice card for you. Okay, so your growth period, Queen of Wands. So this is fully stepping into that fiery Aries power that you have. There's a lot of confidence and understanding that you are where you're supposed to be. Let's see what the lesson is in all of this. Wow, well, you just have a ton of fire coming through. And so this is also about kind of your personal evolution within your own power. And so there's a lot happening in terms of, this is where I want to be, this is my aspiration, and I'm kind of growing into that, especially because we have a snake here. It's like you're shedding old skin and stepping more into your fiery power. So this 6 months is going to be really important for shedding skin. In your romance or love life, we have death. So intense, deep transformation within your love life, your romance, any like sexual or intimate relationships that you have, there's deep transformation coming through. And so let's see, this is the outcome. So where you're going to be at the end of this 6 months, boom, abundance, 9 of coins. And this is just, it does look like there's a lot of independence sitting here. And so for you, it's just really about sitting in a place of, I have enough, I have plenty, I have so much energy, so much time, so much whatever it is that you're trying to manifest during this eclipse season is really coming through on a big scale, on a big level. And then an advice card for you, Sun's rays. This 6 months is all about your internal fire. Understanding, you know, and it's funny, you have the sun's rays and we're talking about the eclipse. So this is actually a really important phase for you as well. I believe there's a grand fire trine going on right now. So we have a lot of positive aspects with the fire signs. And so there's, you know, upheaval within what your expectations are and coming from a place of, I have enough, I have plenty. That's really coming through. So it looks good overall, and it's all about your own fire. Okay, let's see what Taurus has in store for the next 6 months. Okay, so your growth period, 2 of Swords, decision making. You're constantly going to be, you know, kind of frustrated by the fact that you don't know exactly what's happening, but that's okay. It's a part of the process. You just kind of have to roll with it. And so here, you are inevitably going to have to move forward and be a little bit blind to the outcome. So let's see what the lesson is. The world. So there's a lot of cycles that are going to be, kind of coming to the surface, a lot of stuff that's ending, things are really coming together, and it looks like you do have some clarity, but you have to step into the unknown before you're actually able to see these cycles come to fruition. And in your romance, 4 of Chalices. So it's kind of like during these 6 months, I get a feeling that it's going to be more work-oriented and things like that rather than lovey-dovey, simply because you have a lot of stuff and decision-making that you have to do in regards to other aspects of your life. So even if you're being made offers, you may not take them at this time. You may not start anything new unless you're already partnered. So just take it with a grain of salt. Do whatever you want with this energy, but understand that this is going to be the focal point for this 6 months, not relationships. Okay, and where are you at the end of this 6 month cycle? So again, you're getting a lot of offers. Like people are just offering you things, and so you're able to, we have 2 twos in this. So it's about having to make decisions, being offered things, especially because this character is receiving. So you're really opening things up and clearing house so that you're more receptive by the end of this 6 months. And the advice for you, slow down. Don't rush it, and just allow yourself to allow things to unfold naturally, you know, rather than forcing things and pushing, you know, yourself to the, pushing yourself to complete a cycle. You want to make sure that you are allowing it to happen. Okay. And then we have Gemini. See what the growth period is for these 6 month, the 6 month period. 8 of Swords. So it looks like there's something that's kind of barricading you from where you want to be, and the relationship here between what action you need to take is all about, you need to do the work first before you can get your ultimate goal. You can actually obtain what you're looking for. So don't shy away from the challenges and the heavy lifting that you need to do, because that's the only way you can kind of get out of this situation that feels more confining. And the lesson in all of this is manifestation. Over the next 6 months, it's going to be really important for you to speak in the affirmative and affirm what you want. So in terms of how that looks when you're trying to create things for yourself, it's I have, I want this, not I don't want, because it won't respond to the negation of what you're trying to manifest. So remember that. So don't say I don't want to be behind these bars anymore. Say I, you know, want to get beyond this place that I'm at. And in your romantic life, we have 4 of Wands. So things are coming together, but it also looks more casual, it looks fun, and it looks like you can figure out, you know, if this isn't reconnection and building with your partner already, this is more about you manifesting healthy connection and partnership within your life. So it's all about manifestation. Excuse me, one second. Okay, so where you're going to be at the end of this 6 months, the Ace of Pentacles. So you have abundance, but there's also a new beginning. And it looks like you actually evolve out of this and you're able to manifest exactly what you want, whatever type of physical beginning that is for yourself. A new job, more money, new partnership. It's all about adjusting your language to affirm what you want so that you're able to obtain this. And the advice for you is conflict. This looks internal, you know, they kind of have the imagery here between the head and the heart, and that is kind of separating for you in terms of what exactly you're trying to cultivate for yourself. And so it's one of those things that you just kind of have to step into and figure it out. Yes, I'm doing separate signs right now. So don't shy away from this. Step into it is kind of the best decision, because that's the heavy lifting that you have to do, is step into this conflict, get it all out on the table, because if you shove this in a closet, you're gonna stay in this position. Okay, and then so we're Cancer. What's coming through for Cancer during this growth period? The Star, hope, dreams, you know, all the wishes that you're making just kind of coming to the surface. And it's very, very hopeful. So that's the growth period, is like, okay, I'm going to figure out what hope do I have for this next cycle. Where do, you know, really focusing on where do I want to see myself at the end of this 6 month period. It's kind of recalibrating yourself to take more of an outlook of hope and abundance. And the lesson in this is the Daughter of Wands. So here it looks like you actually having to take more action over the next 6 months than you normally would. I think that Cancers a lot of the time are more go with the flow and gentle in a lot of ways. Of course, there are exceptions because it depends on a lot of other stuff in your chart, but it is kind of you taking on more of a fiery approach. That's the lesson, is you kind of have to be more commanding. And in your love life, we have the 5 of Swords, so there could be a little bit of distance or conflict within relationships during this 6-month period, and that's because you're recalibrating yourself. And you're taking on more of a fiery approach, which may be, you know, a new outfit for you. And it's something that you might not be used to. And that's okay. And then we have, for where you're going to be at the end of the 6-month period, you're really, really wanting to kind of rebirth yourself and your outlook and your goals. And so this 6 months is about calibration within yourself, and where you shoot off is in a new direction. So this won't become clear until you figured out what exactly you want. So I can't get more specific than you're just completely turning around and shifting directions, because you have to do the work around what do I want to create. And the advice for you is opportunity. So the next 6 months are really about the times that you're going to say yes to things. It's a really good time to do that, and to take opportunities that feel in alignment with you, and just, even if you're unsure about it, it's kind of like say yes, because there's going to be a lot of positive opportunities that show up. In the same breath, make sure you're listening to your own intuition. All right, so now I'm at Leo. Let's see what the growth period is for Leo. This is, oh my, I'm almost nervous to do this just because it's, you know, the eclipse is in Leo. So let's see what your growth period is. Justice. So it does look like there's a lot of heart work, you know, a lot of work around your heart chakra that's happening. As you can see, she's holding her heart. So because her hands are covering that, it's deep transformation and healing within your own heart and your self-concept. And this is going to have ebbs and flows. There are days when you're going to feel really great and days when you're not. And so you just kind of have to roll with the punches in terms of, you know, okay, this is where I'm at. It's taking more of an accepting approach. And the lesson, 10 of Cups. So there are deep lessons in love, in connection with other people, having other people show up for you. What does that look like? What does love mean to you? What does connection and family and support mean to you? And so there's a lot of defining happening in this process. So I have a feeling that this is going to not be bubbles and joy the entire 6 months, because this is really deep work. Even though we have really great cards, it's also like these are deep-seated, and we all have a lot of trauma around different areas of ourselves. And so it's really navigating this and figuring it out. And in your love life, Queen of Chalices, Queen of Cups. So perhaps this is, you know, a Scorpio, a Pisces, a Cancer really coming through for you and really being the support system that you want. And that's kind of one of the ways that this is manifesting, is into this relationship, or if you're already partnered with someone who has a strong water aspect in their chart, you know, realigning your relationship and your outlook, because relationships just mirror what we think about ourselves and what we feel about ourselves. And so this is really transforming in some really beautiful ways. Okay, and then where you're going to be at the end of this 6 months. Okay, so you're victorious. It's like you're charging forward in some way that you've been wanting to. And it doesn't look so much like you're I don't know, there's a certain level of the decisions that you make now are going to clarify what exactly you see and want within yourself. And then you're going to, again, it's about shedding that skin. And so you're going to move away from certain things and move closer to others that are more in alignment with this vision you have for yourself. So the advice card, higher knowledge. Listen to your intuition, listen to yourself at this time. It's going to be really vital for you as you go through this 6-month period to figure out, you know, what is my gut telling me? What is being communicated to me? What do I need to trust? Okay? So this is, we're at Virgo now. So the growth period for Virgo, 3 of Cups. Connection, celebration. This looks like you being a little bit more social than usual. Let me see what the lesson is. Father of Wands. Okay, so there is whatever fiery people you have around you or within yourself. This is what's helping you with the 3 of Cups, and that being the big growth period and being able to connect with other people and socialize a little bit more. It has to do with the Leos in your life, the Aries and Sagittarius in your life. So keep that in mind, that that they have a lot to teach you during this 6 months. And in your love life, Ace of Pentacles. So there's something new, something fresh, something vibrant. So whether you're in the process of manifesting either connection with your partner or a new relationship, that's coming to the forefront as well. So this is where, you know, the universe kind of spits you out at the end of the 6-month cycle. Ace of Rods, beautiful. So you obtain something. It's kind of like you're holding on to something. It could also, we have 2 aces here, so these could be connected as well. In terms of you have a new beginning here, a new project, or this is just you're really invested in that new relationship. And your advice, abundance. Make sure that you are affirming, I have enough, I have enough, I have enough, I have enough. All right, Libras. Let's see what's coming through. Okay, so the growth period for Libra during this cycle is Ace of Swords. So there's a certain level of feeling confined. And again, these are deep lessons that you're going to have to do around breaking free from your own limiting beliefs. And so for Libras, it's like there's a lot of stuff that has held you back in the past that you're releasing and kind of turning a new leaf in terms of, you know, how are you going to be expansive rather than constricting and confining yourself. And the lesson in all of this is the devil. So again, what are those thoughts that you have about yourself that aren't serving you? Make sure that you are shifting that out of your space and you are coming into, you know, really releasing your negative thoughts and beliefs about yourself in order to, you know, see the brighter future. But you're really confronting a lot of vices, a lot of unhealthy thought patterns during the 6 months. And in your relationships, we have the King of Chalices, King of Cups. So perhaps you are also shifting into a relationship where you are the one who is where you're shifting into more emotional grounding, or this is the person that you are relying on, someone who's extremely emotionally stable and available for you. And so you're either deepening the connection, stepping into that, or, you know, calling this person into your space. And where you are at the end of the 6 months, you're working hard. So it looks like this actually is going to, you're going to be in deep contemplation and review for the 6 months. And at the end, you're going to say, okay, let's get to work. And the advice for you, storytelling. And the thing is, it looks like this has to do with the devil. So what stories are you telling yourself? What are you saying to yourself? What are you affirming? You know, what do you tell other people? Do you always do something? Always? Really? You know, what is it that you are calling into your space through the stories that you tell? What beliefs are you calling in through the stories that you're telling to other people and to yourself? That's the advice, is watch yourself when it comes to what stories you're saying or telling. Okay, now we have Scorpio. So the growth period for the next 6 months. 10 of Discs. So ultimate, you know, abundance. It's kind of like the Midas touch, whatever you lay your hands on turns to gold. That's what I'm getting from this. So it's really about harnessing your own power, your own understanding of what you're able to create in this lifetime and incarnation, and just taking that and running with it. So manifestation also is going to be important, so you can build this belief within yourself. And the lesson here is the Chariot. Keep pushing forward. No matter what someone says to you, you just have to keep moving forward in the direction that you believe is right and true and in alignment with you. And, you know, toss out all the rest and all the naysayers. Okay, and in your romantic life, we have Knave of Wands. Okay, so this is someone who... I get a feeling that this also has to do with you in your partnerships, in your relationships, where you're kind of coming in, being fiery, being more of that intense Scorpio that you can be, but you're taking on more of the fiery qualities rather than the emotional, dreamy, deep diving. It's kind of like you're coming and creating steam within your romantic life. And at the end of the 6 months, boom, you're letting go of a lot. There's a lot that happens here. This doesn't concern me because we have the 10 of Discs here. And this is the growth period. And so, you know, you're going to be moving forward. And as you do this with the Chariot, you're going to be letting go of a lot. Because when you say yes to one thing, you're saying no to another. And so here, I'm not reading this as like total catastrophe or anything. I'm just reading this as it's like you're letting go of your old self. You're truly just saying, okay, I'm pushing this version of myself out and rebirthing into someone who is more in affinity and in alignment with the 10 of Discs. But this person, whether you find yourself to be grouchy or mean or angry or juvenile in certain respects that are unhealthy, it's like that person gets buried so that you can kind of have all this fresh growth come to the surface and really be more in alignment with this new incarnation of who you are. And the advice, stand still. Similar to slow down that I pulled earlier for Taurus, this is all about kind of becoming introspective about what you're looking to cultivate and what exactly is the 10 of Discs for you. Okay, now we have Sagittarius. The growth period for Sagittarius is Queen of Swords, independence, setting clear boundaries. You know, this is all about like saying no. When something isn't right to you, you just call it out as it is. And the lesson in this is about the Son of Pentacles. So, these two things are intertwined in terms of the Queen of Swords is very down to brass tacks, And the Son of Pentacles is like, yes, keeping your nose down, keeping yourself working. And so it looks like you're really shifting into that. Let me see what's coming up for relationships. Eight of Chalices, yeah, so there's a little bit of resistance and pulling away because other things require more of your energy. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. This is just a growth period where you need to embrace that independence within yourself and, you know, get to work on what you're trying to create. Those are the primary focuses of this 6-month cycle. And we have 5 of Rods. So it looks like at the end of the 6-month cycle, you kind of pendulum swing between work-oriented, trying to step into something else, but it's like you're swinging back and forth. And so that kind of reaches a place where you're going to have to do some deep confronting within yourself and within the people that you're in relationships with, partnerships with, in any capacity, in order to figure out what is balance, what is going to resolve this, what is going to calm this energy. And the advice, mentor. So seek out mentors, listen to your mentors, be a mentor. But I have a strong feeling that you're going to need a mentor for this 6-month cycle. All right, Capricorn. Let's see what your growth period is. 5 of Discs. And the interesting thing about in this deck, it's kind of like you're looking at yourself, you're reflecting, kind of taking a deep dive into your own heart and understanding, okay, what are my heart's desires? What do I need to create? And the lesson in this is the Hanged Man. So in order to have a sneak peek at what you want and what you're trying to find within yourself, is you have to look at what am I doing consistently right now that isn't working? And as you figure that out, you're able to say, oh, I know what my own behaviors are reflecting, and XYZ isn't working. I need to change that. In your relationships and romance, oh, boom, Hanged Man again. So this could also be kind of realigning with, oh, I want this in a relationship. I'm trying to figure out what I want in this relationship, whether I'm partnered or not. You know, what shifts do we need to make? But you kind of have to sit in what's happening that isn't in alignment with me right now, and how can I change it? And at the end of the 6-month cycle, we have Temperance. So balance is achieved. It looks like you're able to finally figure out what works and what doesn't. You've done all of the sorting through these 6 months, and now you're like, okay, I know where I need to step off and make, you know, make things better for myself and my partnerships. And the advice, endings. I know that's the last card that people want to see, but it is about, you have to put an end to whatever isn't working. Once you identify this doesn't work, then it's going to make things a lot easier for yourself. Okay, now we have Aquarius. Okay. So the growth period for Aquarians, the Tower. All right. So we have, you know, this ultimate upheaval, and, you know, kind of like the destruction needs to happen in order for you to expand into something new. So don't shy away from this process. You really have to do the heavy lifting and just kind of step into it. Let's see what the lesson is. So cutting ties with old beliefs, cutting ties with unhealthy relationships, unhealthy patterns. It's like you really just have to cut it off and see where that spits you out. So it's deep letting go, deep release. This is really intense, heavy work. Okay, so let's see what's happening in your love life. We have the King of Wands. So this is someone you can rely on. Someone you can just see, look how he's holding her. Yeah, he has his arms around her, and so that's just like the ultimate supporter. So this looks really good, and it looks like you kind of need to really call on your support system more than ever in order to safely get through this period without kind of pulling your hair out. And at the end of the 6-month cycle, 8 of Rods, beautiful. So we have loving things coming into your life, new ideas, new inspiration, new projects and processes that you really are excited to get started. And the advice, watch your expectations. So it looks like you're really trying to control every single facet and how you do it and how you make it happen and how it, you know, aligns with you, and you just kind of have to step into the fire to get through it. You have to break down, you have to crumble in order to, you know, get to this place. If you prolong this process and you just kind of ignore it and shove it in a closet, and you're like, nope, I have an expectation around when, where, and how I'm going to deal with this, yeah, you're going to be fighting this whole process. So roll with the punches, and, you know, don't worry about the outcome. You really have to let go of your expectation of the outcome. The whens, the hows, the whos, you know, let it go. Really. Okay. Now, last but not least, we have Pisces. What's your growth period for Pisces? 4 of Wands, so building something that's really going to be, your growth period is building for yourself, building for your family, building the type of foundation that you really want to create for yourself. So it's all about building. And the lesson in this is the Empress. So stepping into that divine femininity, more of a yin approach, allowing, receiving, calling things in, manifesting, using your intuition to your advantage. And in your romantic relationships, we have 2 of Wands. So again, this is kind of like, you know, there's a certain level of decision making. It's, do I or don't I? Do I pursue this? Don't I pursue this? You know, just really figuring out what exactly works for you and doesn't work for you. But you're so focused on building, so you kind of are being particular about relationships and what you allow in. And where you are at the end of the 6-month period. Okay, so you're releasing something, you're walking away from, I'm trying to figure out how. Let me pull this card first because I don't want to speak to this quite yet. So the advice for you is decisions. Right. So this is, oh, I'm sorry. This is 2 of Swords, not 2 of Wands. I believe I misspoke. So it is about kind of being blind to this process, and you're like, I have this idea. Again, this similar to Aquarius, this is about the how. How is this going to come together? You have this big vision. You have all these things you want to build for yourself. You have the intuition to make it happen. But there's a certain level of blind, you know, blind stepping off the edge. And as you make these decisions, again, you're going to have to walk away from certain things, certain projects, certain people that just aren't in affinity with you. Okay, so that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for joining me for this eclipse reading, and I hope you have an awesome day. I'll go on later and do the daily for the 21st of August. So anyway, I really hope you enjoyed this reading, and thank you for watching me and liking and sharing this video. And I will see you next time. Happy eclipse, everybody.